Hello my friends, I hope you all are doing very well today. In today's video, I want to just put out a quick video. Had a question from Steve in my Discord. Shout out to him and Zach helping answer the question. But it prompted a thought for me and made me think, you know, with Fleet Commander Lorca coming out and them releasing the Vindicator, you know, the ship that helps you source him, as well as some skill points for Sloan and, you know, a path at least for the free-to-play to unlock Janeway. I thought it would be time, because I've gotten a couple of questions like this, to just put a video out to talk about, okay, where do we get some of this stuff? Let's do a quick refresher on the Titan A and what you get from there. Just to go over it really quick, because it's been a while for some people and some people may not remember. And with all things, if I miss something as I'm covering this video, because there's always a lot of different places to click in the game, please let me know. So let's talk about it, because the players matter. Alright, Commanders, so here we are in game. Let's hop into our fleet commanders. I currently have Lorca, Kirk, Sloan, and Spock unlocked. As you are leveling up your commanders, I believe if we go to info, Kirk is actually 18 to 20 for me. I forgot to go back and level him up, but good chance to show you all this. Let's see here, right here. So you can go promote and use these different items: uncommon fleet commander credits, rare credits, and epic credits, which you will get these materials and the materials to promote and level your commanders through running your Borg solos. We won't cover that in this video, just to try and make this video concise and give you all the information that I feel we need to cover. But like this stuff up here, the commander XP, you're gonna get that through running the Borg solos, okay? So we'll go ahead and promote him a couple times, and then where is it? Right here. Ooh, do we have an event going on so I can show you this? If not, I'll hold off. But let's look real quick. I think we just had one end, and why I missed it, I don't know. So anyways, you'll come in there, and that is where you will go to level up your commander, your fleet commander. And as you do so, you will get you'll typically get, I think you get for all of them, you get skill points for leveling them up. If we go, we'll do one on the video here just to see. There you go, Kirk skill points. Now, one thing I want to point out, and then I can go in and I can level something up there, but I want to also show you, if we go to the skill tree, one thing that I'm getting a lot of questions about lately, and I think that's because people are finally starting to level up some of their fleet commanders and they're hitting some of theirs, and I'm like, I don't remember where to get some of this stuff. So we obviously got some here for leveling up Kirk, but there are these rare skill points that people are like, how do you get those? So let's talk about that a little bit. Okay, so if you go into your refinery here, let's pop down to command center. There we go. You've got these that you can source through your Titan A. Okay, so we'll talk about this and then we'll hop into that refinery a little bit too. But here you can take what are called these uncommon skill points. You can spend them, and I spent some this morning trying to get some so I could show it on the video here. These uncommon skill points, okay, you can spend those to get specific ones for Kirk. Come on, there we go. Kirk, Spock, Locutus, 7 of 9, and Janeway. If you'll notice, there is not anything here for Sloan. There is not anything here for Lorca. Those actually come, well, they come from the Vindicator ship, daily claims from the Vindicator ship, which you have to run armadas on the Thursday event to get the loot for those daily pulls. But you can also get Sloan skill points. Before they release a Vindicator, the way you could get Sloan was coming into the section 31, and you get 45 skill points for 1400 of these OG or original wave defense credits. Okay, so you have to keep up on those. With the new Vindicator ship, you can slow roll it and just wait for it to come in, of course. Okay, and then let's hop back into the command center and let's look at that. So you also have these rare skill points that you can trade in. So you get these fragments that you can trade in, and I'll show you kind of where you get those. So those uncommon skill points and these rare fragments you can turn in for some of these rare skill points. And then there's this Fleet Commander Dust. This is kind of pointless if you ask me, because you get all this stuff by running your Borg solos. My understanding is that when you have like the Vindicator or from your daily pulls, if you get shards for a Fleet Commander, my understanding is that they turn into dust, this Fleet Commander Dust right here. But since you already get this stuff from the Borg solos, it's kind of useless. And I don't have a lot of it, and it's not going to convert to that much anyways. So kind of a waste. But at one point, I guess before people could run Borg solos, maybe that was a way to get make some use out of that. Once again, one of those things that Scopely kind of just hasn't updated, huh? Okay, so let's backtrack just a little bit to kind of talk about how you get those items. So what you want to do is you come into your dailies here, and I haven't claimed mine just so I could show you all this, but the fortification and max fortification. So this comes from your Titan A. And it should be stated, I guess, that the higher level you have your ship, the more you're going to get out of it. But you always have these two claims. I've always had them the same. I don't think they change for ops levels. But you get 6,000 of... Just covering this from beginner to to the advanced, I suppose. Let me find it. There we go. Radioactive Titanite. I believe we get 6,000 of that in your claims per day. And so you can't do the 12,000 every day. It's every few days, or, you know, do the math. And then some people want to save their max fortification for certain things, like there's a strategy if you're 50 plus where you can max fortify your NX-01 to farm the rare chips for that loop. If you have the research up to date, and your ship, I believe, needs to be, gosh, it's been a little while. I think tier 6 maybe. Around tier 6 because of the damage output to really make that effective. Reach out to me in Discord, we can talk about it more, but there's other places, so you have to decide if you want to trade in or not. I would at least do the daily where you get this crystalline beryllium. Kind of looks like the same name, beryllium spheres. Anyway, so you can get some stuff here as well as this regular beryllium. If you do the max fortify, you get 3,500. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and claim that for my dailies, and then I've already turned in for the day, but I can at least show you where it's at. If you go to the support tab, you're gonna get a couple things you can turn in for. I have actually maxed my Titan A, so as you're working on it, my suggestion would probably be to work on splitting between these two, so you're constantly working on upgrading your Titan A, but also you need to work on the research, because there's some really good research that can help you punch up on certain things with your Titan, but you need the research items for that. So you need the Viridium isotopes for that, but then you also need the Titan parts. Since we're in event store month, I will throw this out that sometimes I have spent loot on parts for ships. You have to be careful though, because sometimes they're limited with how many you can pull, and then and then you also, like, the cost of the conversion for your event store credits isn't always the best. Sometimes it's pretty horrible, actually. So keep that in mind. You can just slow roll it here. I think that's how I did all for my Titan A, was through here. But here, when we talked about the whatever this was called again, this crystalline, I guess, beryllium, I think that's what it's called. You can get those items that we talked about that you need in your refinery for your skill points and for your rare skill points as well. So those are that's how you do it. So you do your Titan A, you max fortify each day, or you do regular fortify each day, totally up to you and how you want to spend that. You'll then get those items. You can then come into the command center to spend your uncommon skill points you get there when you need them for these particular officers. If not, you need to go through the Vindicator to get the other stuff, or if you choose to spend it on the Sloan skill points in the section 31 from running waves, that's up to you. But rare skill points I think is probably coming up more now too, because you have more people reaching some of these higher levels. Whoops, not this one. This one is an example. Polarized hull, more hull health, but you need these rare commander skill points to do so. So because they're a little bit harder to get, you may want to be just a little judicious, or you want to be careful where you're spending those rare skill points on your fleet commanders. Just be careful with it. One thing I have kind of considered is that since I did buy the Vindicator, I know people are still waiting for that path to come out. Hopefully Sculpey will come out with that next month so people can start working on it. I have been getting, let me hop back before I do that. I have been getting 3 shards for Janeway like each day. And so over the course of this month, now I did have, I think I spent 2,000 or 3,000 so for 2 or 3 shards, because that's the last of the event loot I had left. I spent that on Janeway, but everything else, you know, everything else was from the Vindicator. So rather than spending event loot, and I've tried to tell people this on my live stream or when they've asked questions in Discord, but I have actually not spent anything other than those 1 or 2 thousand event loot that I had left over, because I was trying to get Tear-Up Catalyst at the end. Anyways, I didn't spend hardly a thing on her, but she's already almost halfway to unlock. So keep that in mind when you are looking at your event store loot. Hopefully you get this video in time. If not, this is just an afterthought. But free-to-play sourcing for Janeway comes through the Vindicator loop eventually. So if you're willing to wait for it, it is there. So one thing that I am also considering is that if you don't mind taking the time and you are doing wave defense and you have that ability with your alliance, then you can actually not spend anything more on Sloan. Once you have him unlocked, you can do that through another path or through this here. You can actually stop spending on the Sloan skill points and just slow roll it, and then start investing your stuff in other things, including things like Syndicate XP. So just something to keep in mind as you're considering what are you going to be doing with your Titan A and with your items you're getting for fleet commanders. So hopefully this is helpful. Once again, I think this information has been out there a while, but I wanted to put out something really quick just to share with you all since I started getting all those questions. And once again, I think it makes sense because I think people are unlocking them and tearing them up and getting to a point where they're like, oh yeah, where do I get these from? So just a refresher for everyone out there on how to get the items that you need to level up your fleet commanders and get those skills up to benefit you in your game. So anyways, thank you so much, commanders. Hopefully this video was helpful, and I'll talk to you next time.